Hello, everyone. Welcome to Niger Beach Review Podcast. Today is a special edition. We have a lady guest in the house. This is the 6th episode of the Niger Beach Review Podcast. And my guest is a lady called Diamond Oko. Diamond is I call her a business coach. She helps startups set up and grow their businesses. Hi, Diamond. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Hi, Muiwa. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome to Niger Beach Review Podcast. So, after a long time of trying to get a hold of you, you finally appeared on our podcast. I'm actually happy to have you here today.
I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so let's just get at it. So let's Diamond.
Okay. When you say let's meet me, do you have specific questions? When you say let's meet me, people often ask that question, but what is expected?
A few. Okay, let me give you the context of the podcast. So you're here as a guest because of what you do. For a while on Instagram, I like the kind of content that you put out. I like the value that you give to entrepreneurs. And then I was like, okay, she's going to make a good guest on this podcast. So my listeners are mostly young business owners as well. Okay. And then people who just graduated from school and trying to get a job or set up a business. So let's meet you in the context of what you do.
What I do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So
but we don't mind personal bits as well. So we can know you better.
Okay. So first off, I'd like to step away from people calling me a coach. You know, I don't feel like a coach. I don't believe I'm a coach. I mean, I have people that I work with that I have one-on-one sessions with regarding particular issues in their businesses. But I like to call myself an entrepreneur, and I like to believe that I'm at that point in my life where I'm just sharing with other people lessons I'm learning as I go through my own journey of entrepreneurship. So it's not calling myself a business coach. I feel that it just makes me feel very entrepreneur works for me better. Okay, so business-wise, I started business while I was in the university. That was my third final year. I tried the first time actually when I was in my third year, but that did not go well. Spent a lot of money. Then at 80K would be a lot of money for students. So I blew that. And the second time I got a partner that had strengths that I didn't have, and we kind of complemented each other, and we went back into the business. We started with just 20,000, unlike before when I started with 80. We were able to grow the business really had a lot of clients. We did about $1 million in sales in 6 months. We got funded. We were really excited for what we were doing.
Interesting.
And then 2 years down the road, we shut down because we made a lot of mistakes, especially with cash flow and pricing. We were losing so much money. We did not notice because we had money in the bank from funding. And by the time the money ran out, it hit us that we were making a lot of mistakes. Actually, my partner told me, but I put an Amazon story on her. You know, I told her, this is how Amazon started. They had to swallow costs, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And of course, the business ended up swallowing us. So that's my background in entrepreneurship. And then after I went through this phase of crying and feeling like crap for months, I decided, after I read Gary V's Crushing It, I came across the book. I got the book from Amazon, but I'd never really read it. So I came across it. After reading it, I was like, I can actually use social media to help someone so that another person doesn't make the same mistakes that I made, you know. So I started creating content just because I've always loved writing and speaking, and I just felt like this could help somebody. And that was it. That was how I now launched the Startup Report, which is what it is today. It's a business that helps entrepreneurs who are starting or aspiring entrepreneurs who don't have a lot of money in the bank. So I try to help such people go from 0 to 10, 15, 20 customers, 100 customers without going broke, without shutting down.
Interesting.
So that's basically what I do.
Wow. So this means, I'll say your business model is putting out content, your learnings from business. So you're actually helping other people as a result of the experiences that you've had.
I won't really call it my business model. I would say that's how the strategy in fact, it wasn't even a strategy. When I started, I wasn't thinking about, oh, this is a strategy, this is that. It was just me wanting to help. But right now, it's become a method for me to reach those people, for me to show them that I can help them and for them to be saved, right? That's the right way to put it. Or for me to help somebody not make the same mistakes that I made. So it didn't really start out as a business strategy. It just started out as, I love doing this. I just want to help one person. That's how it started.
And then the word just spread. Were you actively marketing yourself to attract these entrepreneurs that you were trying to help, or did the word just spread organically?
I think that when I started, when I started, it was just organic. I started creating content. And people would find me on Instagram via hashtags, via strategic. I didn't even know it was strategic commenting then. I was just commenting on posts. The first time my followership blew up, just a little bit, was when I left this comment on Niger Brand Chicks page. Yeah. And Keshi Lauren, the 5K shop, tagged me. Ask Dams, not the 5K shop. Ask Dams tagged me on Instagram and said, I really know what I'm talking about. Then the 5K shop tagged her and said, yes, she does. And after that, happened, a lot of people just followed me. I woke up and I saw lots and lots of people were following. So when I started, I wasn't doing it. I mean, when I was leaving the comments, it wasn't strategic commenting for me. Just me trying to add value. Because Gary Vee would always talk about, go to where your target audience, where they're guided, and just add value. Leave valuable information there and join the conversation. So I would just go to all these places and join the conversation. And people will find me through hashtags, they'll find me through comments. Then they would share my videos and people would just find me. And I was also always asking people to tag their friends, someone that would gain value, and people would also do that. And then somewhere along the line, I started running paid adverts using my value content. I wasn't running paid adverts on my products or services. I was running paid adverts on my content. And that was also helping me grow my audience.
So from people actually, from you, so it seems to me like Diamond actually started, and she didn't actually know exactly what would come out of this thing you were doing. It could have been something. So you were doing it maybe just for passion initially.
Yes. Yeah. You get it. Absolutely. I had no clue. I remember one time, someone from Niger Startups, the person handling their Instagram, sent me a DM, right? I think they saw, because I had sent them a message some time ago that I wanted to write for them. And they did not reply. So they saw that message finally, and they saw my content. And so they replied the message, and they were like, they're just seeing this. And then as we were having the conversation, they asked me what I was doing at the time. And, that's a big platform. It's a big platform actually. So you want to sound very professional. And I thought about what to say, and there was nothing to say, and I just said, I'm just doing what I love.
Of course, that was actually an appropriate response for what you were doing.
I'm like, I have no idea what the hell I'm doing. I'm just doing what I love.
So did that actually turn out into you giving them content or working with them eventually?
I pitched them content because they said, okay, send me pitches and all of that. But they didn't eventually hire me. They just said, what, we like your content. We'll get back to you once we launch the other aspect of our business that needs this type of content and all of that. It didn't eventually lead to something. But that whole process led me to the point in my business where I am today. Because I don't know if I would have focused on growing my business if someone just hired me, it's one thing when a company is hiring you for a job, like a 9 to 5 or something. It's another thing when they're hiring you to do what you should be doing to grow your own company. I don't know if that makes any sense. It's one thing when you're hired to clean a room, but if your business is about cleaning rooms and you're doing it for another company, I don't see how you're going to grow your business, because all your ideas will be going to
So there was an episode of this podcast where we talked about, I had a guest as well, and then we talked about getting experience before starting the business. So don't you think sometimes it is necessary to actually get experience from somewhere before eventually starting your business than just thinking, I have this knowledge, let me just go ahead and start my business? Don't you think there will be mistakes that way?
Here's the thing. I absolutely do agree that if you want to go that way, you should go that way. But my issue with that method is that a lot of people use it as an excuse.
Yeah.
You know, I'm one of those people who believe in learning on the job. Right?
Okay, yeah.
And in the process of learning on the job, I would gather information, listen to advice, watch videos and all of that. But I so believe that if I want to build a house, you know, and I have the basic skills to get started, I'll just get started. That's the way I am.
And
I've never been
just
the kind of person to say, I want to launch a business, let me go and work for somebody, figure out the business thing, then launch it. Because even if you do that, and I promise this to anybody listening, you're still going to make mistakes and really painful ones.
So it's better to just go ahead and just be bold.
Yeah, you know, it doesn't mean that my method is the only method. You could try that method and it will work out for you. You mustn't do what I did. You mustn't just go ahead and start, right? But then this is how I like to do my own thing.
I actually agree with you. It's just, it depends on how you feel, what you really want to do. If you feel like, I need to really gather experience before starting my own business, then go for it. Exactly. But if you just want to go ahead and start, then okay. So let's start. Yeah. So let's get into business proper. So Diamond, you've had quite an experience. Like, how long have you been doing this so far?
Doing content creation.
Doing the whole business growth. Yes.
My own business now, or generally my experience in business generally.
No, your business so far.
My business now. So it's 11 months. I'm going to be 12 months in June. So
Are you serious? Are you serious?
Or July.
I thought your business has been existing for maybe 2 years.
No. You know, I shut down the one that was existing then. I shut both of them down.
Yes.
Because I had 2 businesses.
Yes.
And so
I didn't actually know about this business. If you didn't tell me now, I wouldn't have known about your earlier business.
Oh, really? I talk about it all the time. So I shut those ones down before I launched the Startup Report now. So yeah.
Okay. So what kind of business owners actually come to you, and what's the most common thing that they come for? Like, what problem do most business owners that come to you, what problem do they want solved? Do they think that you can solve for them?
Okay, so it's usually people who are starting business. So they're usually between 6 months, 2 years old. And they either are struggling with sales, seriously, they're struggling with sales, or you find the people who are starting, but they don't know their left from their right? So they're like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to get customers. I don't know how to market. I don't know how to price. I'm lost. So I usually get these 2 categories of people who have started but don't know anything, or people who have started and they want to grow their sales. They want to grow sales and gain more customers. And I think the biggest challenge for these entrepreneurs, I don't even know if it's appropriate to say that it's just, for me, is lack of the ability to execute. Their challenge, they think, is sales. You know, truthfully, it's sales. They want to gain more sales. They want to grow their business. But I think that the real problem is execution. Because even after I consult with a lot of these entrepreneurs, after I sit down and explain and I show them what to do, I find that they struggle to actually do it. And I find that some of the things I'm telling them, they might even know. Sometimes they're like, I knew, I heard this somewhere. But then the execution of that thing is where a lot of entrepreneurs have real challenges. The surface challenge is sales. The real disease is the inability to execute.
So are you trying to say, I wanted to say they're actually lazy, but is it? No. Is it actually fear, or what's stopping them from actually putting in the work? They already have the framework. They've had someone, maybe lay out the steps for them. But what do you think is the problem?
It's a mix of all these things. But the first one, and the first real thing I find that holds people back, is leaving your comfort zone is really hard. You know, leaving what you're used to is really hard. And when I start talking with these entrepreneurs and saying, try this, these are not things that they used to try. I don't know if you get where I'm coming from. And so...
Hello? Yes. I think
okay, great. So
somewhere.
Asking somebody to add to their social media, asking somebody to do this, create a sales funnel, asking somebody to create a marketing video instead of just boost ads, asking them to shoot, their products in a certain way. Extremely difficult for a lot of people because they've been doing what they've been doing for so long that they're
what they're already used to.
Yes,
So you're
and
asking
you're
them
asking
to do
them to
something
upgrade.
different.
Absolutely. And that is
Yeah.
a huge challenge. The second one is fear, especially fear of what people will think. I find this to be such a huge challenge. You would think it would be fear of failure, but no, it's
I
usually
would not say fear of
what.
success.
Oh, I wish that was the situation. But a lot of starting entrepreneurs is fear of what people will think. Like, oh my God, if I do this, especially when it comes to putting yourself in front of your business, right? People just go, oh my God, if I do this, what will people think? You know, if I fail, my friends will laugh at me. At the core of it is the fear of what people will think, not necessarily the fear of failure. And it holds a lot of people down a lot. And, you know, I think then the last one is that where you have things like the person is just being lazy or just being stubborn, you know, all these other ones coming. But in my experience, it's usually these two things that just gets in the way.
Yeah. So from what I've actually noticed, so for a lot of people want to start online businesses, is it possible for them to start, say, without any capital? Can one actually start an online business without some form of without capital? Is it possible?
My answer is no. Because if you
Okay.
stay starting an online business without capital, how are you going to buy data? You know, you need to have money to buy data. You need to have a phone. You know, you need to recharge airtime to call. You need to do a lot of things on the internet. It's an online business for a reason. So my answer is no. When I started, I remember that I was really broke because my businesses, the ones that I shut down, took all of the funding, took my entire savings. I was literally this close to selling my car. So, and then I was starting a new business. At the time, it wasn't even a business. It was just me creating content. But I was really struggling because I couldn't afford to buy data. Like, it was that bad. Like, I was struggling to buy data to create content. And so my answer to this question is absolutely no. But contrary to what people tell you, you don't need 50K to start an online business. You just need to have enough money to get the basics. The basics being that you have a phone that you can use. It mustn't be an iPhone. It just needs to be a phone that is able to go online, make good calls, record a video, and take good pictures. And then secondly is you need to have money for internet, you know. So those two things are the core things. Like, you really need to have every other thing you can navigate. But these ones are really important. So you don't need to have, you cannot start without capital, but you don't need to have a lot of capital to start.
Okay. Interesting. So what I'm getting from this is, even if you have just small money, say 10,000 naira, you can actually start something.
Absolutely. You can start.
Yeah. Okay, but what are the kinds of online businesses that are there that people can actually go into? What do you think are these kind of businesses?
So I don't answer this particular question when people come at me and like, you know, what are some business ideas that you think we can start with this amount of money or start now and all of that? I usually say I have no clue. You know, I don't know, because when we start looking at business ideas from the point of what are some business ideas that we can start, business is really, really hard. And I know that this is a really cliche thing to say, but when you want to launch a business, you want to start by looking at an around what you're passionate about that has a problem that you can solve using the skills that you already have and that you can monetize.
Wow.
So you need the passion, number one, to keep you going when you are really tired. Recently, I've not been on social media for close to 7 days. I have been recovering from chronic burnout, like severe burnout.
You've
not
been
wanting
working so
to do
hard.
anything.
I know that. I know you've been working really hard.
It's a lot of things. But at the end of the day, the only reason why I'm still able and, you know, to say I'm going back on social, I'm going to do this, I have to do this, is because I would rather not be doing anything else. Like, this is it for me. This is what I genuinely love doing. So you can still do what you love doing and be tired and be burnt out, you know, and lose motivation. But for you to keep pushing past the challenges that come with business, you need to care. And then after caring is then you start talking about, is this really is it around a problem that people have, you know? And then do you have the skills and the resources to solve that problem? And I was saying that when it comes down to picking a business idea, you never want to pick a business idea simply because people tell you, oh, 35 types of business you can start on little capital, like you'll find everywhere on Google and Pinterest. You want to really look at, something that you're passionate about, an industry that is, that your passion is part of, and start looking at a problem that you can solve in that industry. And then once you're done doing that, you start looking at your resources. Like when you start opening your mind up to these things, you're going to get so many ideas. Trust me.
That's true. That's true.
So then the next thing now becomes, what are the resources I have right now? You have, skills. Do you have the skills to solve each of these problems? Do you have the resources? As you go through that, you're going to find one idea that works with the resources that you have, that works with the skills that you have at the time. So this is for somebody that is just starting out, right? You don't have a lot of money in the bank. Now, once you find that one, the question or the two, it becomes, can I monetize this? How do I monetize this? Because that's a huge part of starting a business, of launching a business. Now, people could come with the argument that not all business ideas can be started. You've used this method. What if you find a business idea that can be started with little capital? Which is why I say that you have to match your business ideas with your available resources.
Yeah.
But beyond that, every single business idea can be broken down into a form, a minimum viable product. Be it a service or a product kind of business. And what this means is that as big as your business, as amazing as it is with all these wonderful features, there are certain core things that makes it complete, right? So, for example, is when I started my business, my first business in tech, the second one actually, the idea was that people would send us clothes from anywhere in Nigeria, and we'll make it for them, good quality, great material. They don't have to go to the market to buy fabric, they don't have to send us any kind of, we don't have to come and measure them. We had an entire method that we would use to get their measurements, send out products that will fit them, all of that. That was the idea behind the
Was
business.
it like a subscription-based business or?
No,
It
was a pay-per-service business. That was the idea. We would source the fabrics, we would do everything. But then if you think about the idea, you need lots of tailors, right? You need to have a website that's functional. You need to have so many things. At the core of it, though, all this idea needs is a way for people to reach us, a way for them to know what we do, and a way for them to view some of the designs that we had, or they will send us a design. A way for us to ship the product to them. We just broke it down into what are the core features that we need to do this. That was all. So we were just using WhatsApp, we were using Instagram, and then at first we had one tailor that we were working with and 2 sewing machines. And then at a point we started outsourcing, right? So the idea is we broke down the entire business to a very small form, which is what are the core things that we need to get started, and that's how we got started. So somebody that wants to do what I'm doing now would say, I need a blog, I need this, I need that. When I started, I just used Instagram. I started putting out content on Instagram. I didn't even have a full-blown, well-designed website. Still don't have one. I have a website, but it's not yet well-designed. I'm working on that. But the point is that every business idea you have can be, in fact, 95% of business ideas can be broken down into small forms. 95%, not every, but 95% of them. Yeah.
So you don't have to have everything in place before you start.
No. You don't.
You can just wing it, and then things will eventually fall in place.
You can wing it. Of course, you have to wing it intentionally, because if you just decide to, allow everything to fall where it fall anyhow, it's going to be very difficult to build the business, right? But when you're starting, you just need to be very clear on what you need to start. What are the core things you need to get started? That's the first thing you need to focus on. Once you have those core things, go with those core things. Forget about all the fancy features, the fancy office, the employees, tenders, all those things that you need. How can you create this service or product without spending a lot of money and still provide high quality, services and high quality products that would match your target customer? Also, a very important, aspect of doing this is that will match your target customer. And so once you start thinking, it's like people that always say, I don't have money. If you keep saying you don't have money, you're never going to buy anything. But the minute you start asking yourself, how can I afford this thing? You will start seeing different ways that you could actually raise money. So if you're starting a business and you don't have a lot of money, you need to get really scrappy and creative. How can I get this product or service to the public, right? Without spending all the money that I don't even have? That's the question that you need to be asking. And once you focus on the core features, it becomes clearer and clearer and clearer how to go about it.
Yeah. So talking about tools, I know there are some tools actually specific to certain businesses, but generally for the online businesses, what particular tools do you think everyone needs to have in order to be successful today, apart from the phone and the data, which is essential?
Sincerely speaking, I don't think that there are specific tools that you need to have to be successful. I think that you just need to have tools that would help you get started effectively, and tools that are very budget friendly but can actually do the job excellently well. For example, in my business, some of my core tools right now is my WordPress, SiteGround.
SiteGround. Never heard about SiteGround.
SiteGround is a hosting site for people that want to build websites on a budget. It's really awesome. I use them, love them. Yeah. I use WordPress. I use .org. Absolutely love them because you can actually do a lot, and it cost me about 14,000 or 15,000 for me to get started on SiteGround, and to install WordPress is free. So, and then you need to have a lot of good tools that work with your product. So for example, I need tools for video editing. I have a lot of tools around those. And then I have tools for creating landing pages. I have a Linktree, So I have tools for creating landing pages. For example, you have Diamond Oko that I use, and I absolutely love them. Another awesome tool that I found recently that I love for landing pages is called card.co. So it's CARRD.co. So I think for everybody who's running a business, you just need to know what are the core things that you need to automate, that you need to solve for your business, and what are the tools that can help you do those things. And once you find those tools and they're free and yet they do really good work, or they're super affordable and they do really good work, that's all that matters. That's how you become successful. My tools may not be very important for another person.
True. That was why I said some tools are actually specific to certain businesses.
Yes, absolutely. But then again, if we're not talking about on the very general angle, you need a tool for sending out receipts so that you know how much you're making in your business. I use Loyverse, but I'm not very steady. So even if you're doing a product or service, you need to know how much you're making and how much you're spending. So important. So you can use Loyverse. They have a free plan, and you can use Expensify for your expenses and manage that. You also need to have a tool for growing your mailing list. So I use MailChimp, or you could use MailerLite as well. You need to have a tool for you to be able to have like a domain name. So you can use GoDaddy if you have for online platforms. You have to buy a domain name. So you can use Namecheap.com or GoDaddy. Now, once you've done that, you want to use a good customer. For example, if you want to get like a personalized email address, you can use a lot of tools from Google, G Suite, but I personally use tools from Zoho. Like Zoho has their own email hosting that does that for you, and Zoho has a lot of tools, like a lot of free tools that you can use for your business. So I think focusing on tools in accounting, and then tools in content creation, tools that help you to manage content, scheduling, communication with customers, those are the tools to go for.
You seem to be quite an epitome of knowledge in this digital business thing.
I'm learning. I'm just learning and growing.
Yeah, of course. So what are there articles or are there books that you read to actually improve your knowledge in this area?
I think the thing is that I keep saying I think like I'm thinking. The thing is that I read, like when it comes to online articles, blogs. I love Pinterest so much because Pinterest is basically visual reading.
That's quite feminine.
It's not actually. It's changing. If you look at the last data from Pinterest, they have a steady growth in their male audience. More and more men are keen into Pinterest because at the end of the day, if you run a business, right, and you're targeting women somehow, you need to be on Pinterest. If you have a blog and you want to grow your audience traffic to your blog, Pinterest is an amazing tool. I keep hearing that.
I keep hearing that, but I haven't explored Pinterest.
I haven't explored it.
I used to actually, but maybe in the past 3-4 years, I haven't explored Pinterest.
Yeah, it is. Even for people that have podcasts, they put up a lot of their podcasts on Pinterest, and if you do it right, you can draw a lot of eyeballs to your content. So at the end of the day, is that Pinterest is really terrific, when it comes to giving you knowledge. And because of how targeted Pinterest is, in the sense of it knows how to give you stuff that you're interested in. So there's a lot of knowledge there. I also love YouTube. So I watch YouTube videos, I read articles, then I have blogs that I read that I love. I love Neil Patel's blog, I love Founder, I love Content Marketing Institute. You just have all these websites and blogs that you read every now and then. They share a lot of information. So you read them. Books wise, I started reading books a long time ago. I'm currently going back to reading books. To be honest, recently I've not been really reading books, but some of my favorite books with business are The Lean Startup by Eric Riers. I also love From Zero to One by Peter Thiel. Awesome book. I love the book by, I think, The Everything Store, Amazon.
Oh, never heard about that.
Yeah, I've not even finished reading it, but it was a really, really good book. So The Lean Startup and From Zero to One are I really loved those books. And there are lots of other business books.
I want to recommend one to you. I want to recommend the book to you. It's called Traction by Gabriel Weinberg.
Okay, I'll check it out.
Yeah, I think you'd love it.
Okay, I'll definitely check it out.
Yeah. So, and then you kept mentioning Gary V.
Oh, and crushing it. Yes. For those of us that want to use social media to build, in fact, I think that it's a book that everybody who wants to use social media to build a business should read. It shakes you out of your comfort zone big time. It shows you the power of social media. I make more money doing what I do now than some of my friends that have 9-to-5s.
Yeah, true.
True. And the reason why, in fact, I said that the day I get the opportunity, if I ever get the opportunity, and I hope that I do, to collect an award and I have to stand on the big stage and internationally, one of the people I would give credit to is Gary Vee, because even not for that book, I have no clue. I would have had no clue that my Instagram handle could be used to build a business. I wouldn't even know how to do it. Gary breaks it down in a way that most people will not break it down, which is why I love him.
Although I find Gary Vee to be too brash. I
get that. He doesn't have to connect with everyone. That's the thing. You might not connect with him. You can connect with Devin Meltzer or other people that create content. But I personally connected with him so much because he was in my face about my bullshit, and he was able to say, this is what you should be doing. Get off your ass and stop feeling sorry for yourself, and use what you have to build the life that you want, and he said it in a way that connected with me. But it doesn't have to connect with everybody. But I think his book is a must read if you want to use social media to effectively build your business, to start. For all of us who are just starting an online business, that is a book to read, guys. That is a book to read.
Interesting. So what's the next level for Diamond right now? What do you hope to achieve? What are your plans, your aspirations?
I think this is going to sound really mundane and boring, but I think for me right now, the only thing that I want to achieve is to improve myself every single day. That's the only thing. I don't know the forms that it would take, but that's the main thing. For a long time, you have aspirations, you're like, oh, I want to do this. Oh, and I want to do all of those things. But at the core, the only thing that really matters for me is that every day that I wake up and live my life, I'm 1% better than I was yesterday. That's my aspiration. If it comes out as a big business or a big thing or a book or whatever it comes out as, I have no clue. But that's my aspiration.
So we've really had such an insightful conversation here. I'm actually happy that you came and shared your knowledge with us. Most people actually have all of this knowledge and then they choose to hoard it and they don't want to share. But I like it that you're actually sharing it freely and from the depth of your heart. I like that. So how do people connect with you, Diamond? How do they reach out to you if they want to get in touch with you?
Okay, so if you want to reach out to me, the easiest way is via Instagram DM. That's the easiest way to reach me. If you want to reach me, is just send me a DM. My Instagram handle is Diamond Oko, with Diamond as in the stone, Oko, OKOH. And you can send me a DM real quickly. You can also use my email address if you want to, which you can actually use diamond@thestartupreport.info, and I will get your email. So send me an email on that and I will respond to your email. But if you want to reach me really quickly, Instagram DM.
Oh, that's beautiful. So I want to thank you, Diamond, for coming on the podcast today. Do you have any final words for our listeners out there? You want to tell them some advice for them?
I think at the core of it, all I really have to say is that going through business is really, really hard. It's easy, but it's hard. And I want us to become very realistic about what it's like to build a business. It's not always rosy. It's not always fun. You're going to have bad days. I know people say this a lot, but I don't even want to understate it. It's not always easy. But what gets us through this is a lot of self-investment in our own self-awareness as entrepreneurs. Is investment in knowing more and more who you are, what works for you, what empowers you, what disempowers you, what you need to learn, and being honest with yourself. Because there's this quote I read that I love and says, you can never really get to the next level, and I'm paraphrasing, if the person you are does not match that level. So when it comes to entrepreneurship, your level of personal development will always be tied to your level of success. The challenges that we are going to face as we go through this journey demands that we continue to grow as people. And for us to grow, we need to invest in our self-awareness so much. We need to know the truth about what our weaknesses are, our strengths, where we're messing up, where we need to be better. And don't sugarcoat it. If I'm going to say it like Gary V, don't rah and do nothing. You really have to pay attention to you as a person, what's going upstairs mentally. It's very scary, but it helps a lot. The energy to be persistent, the energy to be passionate, the energy to keep going, it's all tied to your ability to develop who you are on the inside. If your inner man sucks, your business will suck.
So most businesses are a reflection of the owners.
100% of the time. And I'm not talking about now being a good person, It's not about being a good person, because you have a lot of successful people who are not good people. It's about knowing who you are, knowing where you are at in your life, in your business as a person, knowing your strengths, knowing your weaknesses. Because if you don't know those things, you cannot build a business. You just can't. Those things will continue to kick you in the face. If you know your weaknesses, then you know who to hire to fix them. You know how to solve them. You pay attention to solving them. If you pay attention to what drains you and what burns you out, which is what I'm learning now, it's very difficult. I'm learning every single day. Then you can avoid burnout. But if you're going through business, just following the wind and hoping that you show up successful and not investing in who you are, the person you are will eventually run out. Your battery will run out. And when it runs out, your business too will run out. You just can't escape it.
So self-awareness is actually key.
It's key.
And then striving to become better than who you were before would actually help as well.
Yes, just everyday improvement. It's not about trying to build $1 billion company. And this is, I want to advise everybody listening, don't think about building $1 billion company. Just let's start with
$1 million.
Don't even think about $1 million. Wake up every day with one intention. This business was created to solve this problem, and I want to do everything to solve that problem for somebody today. I'm going to get a customer and I'm going to solve that problem. It's a very difficult way to look at business, right? But then when you focus on just that tiny 1%, and that's all your business is about, is solving that problem and solving it excellently every day. Nobody can really beat you at your game. Because that's all you're focused on. You're not focused on the newest thing that your competitors are doing, because at the end of the day, if that thing works, you're going to get to it at some point, or even get to it before them. So I think a lot of entrepreneurs, we focus on being a $1 million company, billion, and I used to be that way. And now I'm just focused on showing up every day and making sure that I'm the best at what I do. At solving the problem I say that I want to solve, and solving it excellently. And that's not easy, because you even have to get clear on what the problem is. I don't think Elon Musk or Steve Jobs or any of these people that we so love woke up and said, I'm going to build a $1 billion company. I don't think anybody did that. It was just about solving problems and solving them excellently.
Yeah. And then what I've noticed is when you solve people's problems very well without really thinking about making money, your reputation actually begins to grow, and then you begin to get word of mouth referrals.
No.
Go ahead. No, I wanted to say the most trusted form of referral, the best form of marketing you can get, is someone actually saying, oh, I can vouch for this person. This person can really do what he or she says she can do. You get? And that only comes when you're focused on really solving people's problems without really thinking about the money. By the time you keep solving these problems, eventually the money will come.
No, I do agree with you saying that the best form of marketing for your business is people referring others to you. It works really well. But then I don't agree with not thinking about money, because contrary to what a lot of people, I believe in solving problems and solving them excellently well. But you also have to think about money in the sense that, not in the sense of how to make money overnight, but you have to think about how to grow your business. And trust me, you need to have a working business model to do that. And if you don't have a working business model, you really cannot help a lot of people. You really cannot solve those problems efficiently and effectively. It's very dicey when I tell entrepreneurs to focus on solving problems but also focus on making money, because people relate selling so much to taking money. This form of selling as being ingenuine. Selling as something is wrong with selling. People don't look at selling and think of helping. But at the core of it, that is what selling really is. Because if you look at it, you can't really help people if you don't have money. You can't really grow that business and make it into something that can help lots and lots of people if you're broke. I can't really keep creating content and keep helping all the people that I've helped right now if I didn't have the money to do that. And let me also say this is, people don't mind paying. People really don't mind. As long as you get your pricing right, and as long as you're going to help them solve that problem, they don't mind paying. And so when I say solve problems and focus on doing that excellently well, I'm not saying don't focus on money. You need money. Fact. True. I'm just saying that don't ignore that aspect of the business where even as you're taking that money, you're doing what you're paid to do and doing it like a pro. You're doing it very, very well. You're putting your heart and soul and money and mind to it. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, do you actually agree that for most people it can be confusing saying, okay, I want to render the same. So it can be confusing putting money and then rendering service
Absolutely.
at the same time. Yes.
It can be confusing because a lot of people are confused on what selling is, and a lot of people are afraid to sell. That's why it's confusing. People have such a negative relationship with selling, and that's why a lot of starting entrepreneurs struggle, because we haven't gotten to a place where we are genuinely comfortable with saying, pay me for my services. Like I tell a lot of people, you need to get to the root of why you're so scared with selling. When I started my first business, all I wanted to do was provide products for people that did not have a lot of money. Even now in my business, in fact, naturally, I'm geared in that direction. But that doesn't mean that I don't charge those people for services. What I did in my first business was I got the idea of who my target audience were really, really wrong. And then I was creating products for them and services that were so high quality and way above their budget, and then collecting pennies from them. Eventually, my business shut down.
Yeah, you.
And so now in my business, even though I'm helping people who are budget entrepreneurs and still starting out, I have to figure out a way to help them without going broke. You get the point?
Yeah.
So I have products, I have services. I charge good money for those services and for those products. But I also design my pricing in such a way that somebody that's just coming to me with 5,000 naira can get something out of me. You're coming to me with 10,000 naira, with 50,000 naira, you can get something out of me. You can get started. And then as you grow, you keep paying, you keep growing, that entire process. But never, ever, ever think that you have to remove selling for you to help people. Yeah. That's false. You can still help people for free. But unless you have a business model that supports that process, I'm telling you, your business will shut down.
So it's actually a mindset thing. Well, entrepreneurs really need to get comfortable with selling. With believing that, okay, I'm offering someone a good quality service or product, and then I deserve to be paid. It is actually a right or a must that, I get paid for this thing that I'm doing.
Absolutely. And here's the thing, whenever I talk to clients and they're like, oh my God, people will think that I'm being fraudulent, people will think this, or I don't want it to look like, who says they want to help you, but they're charging for money.
I think a lot of people feel that way. A lot of
people do.
Yeah,
and
maybe 95% of people.
Oh, lots of people. And then I ask them, I say, if you're sick now and you go to the hospital, and the doctor was able to properly diagnose you, tell you even what's wrong with you, what you're going through right now, and so you have to pay 30,000 naira to get drugs. Do you think, would you feel like the doctor is ripping you off? And assuming you now take those drugs and you're better, is there any point after you paid that money that you feel like the doctor was ripping you off? No. You never feel that way. You're always grateful. In fact, you will tell all your friends to bring 30,000 naira if you're sick to pay to get cured. So why do you feel like somebody who is in pain and you are saying, let me help you, why do you feel like that person would look at you and be like, you're trying to rip me off for helping me? The real issue why people hold back from giving us money is trust. Is that they don't really trust that we can help them. I will not go to a quack doctor somewhere inside a kiosk and pay them 50,000 naira to treat me, because I don't trust that this person could actually treat me. But if I go to a big hospital with lots and lots of gadgets and facilities, and I see other people with big cars there, all of a sudden, even if they're not even that good, I just feel like they can cure me. I don't know if you get so
we didn't even talk about this. So packaging as well is a factor.
Not necessarily. When I was talking about the big cars and all, I was talking about the clients. That's what I meant. Is that if you see those clients there, level, you feel like for these clients to be here, it means that these doctors are really, really good. The reason why people don't buy from us is usually trust. And so the question is, how do I get them to see that I'm really good at this so that they give me the money to help them? Because they want to give you the money. They just don't trust that you're going to deliver on what you say that you're going to deliver on.
There's actually a lot of mindset things to this entrepreneurship journey. So from what I've gotten out of this podcast, the truth is, you need to fix your mind in order to progress. If you don't fix your mind, you might just end up repeating the same cycles or making the same and making the same mistakes, and I'm wondering what is wrong with you. So it's the truth.
Absolutely. And also saying, people will now tell you it's just the process. The process is there, it's hard, but let's stop making it hard on ourselves by not fixing our limiting
behaviors,
limiting beliefs, by not really learning what works and what doesn't work. Because when you don't do these things, by not even investing in your self-awareness, like I said, 99% of the problems that we face, we win first in our minds. I strongly believe in the connection of the mind to the problems that we face on a daily basis. And for an entrepreneur, if your mind is not in the right place, you're going up against something that's really, really big. It's like a David and Goliath battle. Your mind really needs to be in the right place.
So I want to thank you, Diamond, for honoring our invitation today, for being on Nigeria Breeze Review. I actually learned a lot from you today just by having this conversation, and I'm sure that our listeners too will have gotten so much value from it. So thank you, everyone listening in from Nigeria and every other part of the world that you're listening in from. I think I'll have to bring Diamond again sometime in the future. Yeah, because I feel like there are other areas and topics that we can branch into and treat in depth. But because so I really don't want the podcast to get really long. Yeah, they are usually. Yeah, this is actually so Diamond. You got the award for having the longest episode. Yeah. I like that. That's because you have so much to offer, and then it feels like when there's even that much. We don't have that much time to actually cover all of these things.
Yeah.
So yes. So sometime again, guys, I would have Diamond come, and then we would look at one topic and then just go in depth into that topic. Thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe to the Niger Biz Review podcast. Don't forget to follow Diamond on social media at Diamond_Oko. I'm sure I got that right.
No underscores. It's just Diamond Oko.
Okay, so follow her on social media at Diamond Oko, and then follow me at The Lodge Consulting. And if you want to reach out, the email address is thelodge@thelodgeconsulting.com. Thank you everyone for listening, and look out for next week's episode. It's going to be as interesting as this one. Thank you so much.
Well, have a good day and bye-bye.